It is a beautiful day in Southern California, and I'm working in the shop today. I wanted to share with you, if you've ever had an old car with one of these ABS plastic door panels, you've experienced the horror of breaking the pins off of the back of these. A lot of times people will just drill a hole, there's an example here, and put a screw through the front of the panel, but then it doesn't look as clean. So I'm going to show you my technique for repairing these ABS plastic door panels and help you get your car looking like it did originally. So whenever I break these panels, there is a plethora of curse words that are spoken because I hate to break them. Even using my panel pop tool, I have broken many of these. Or the old owner's broken them, and as I take the car apart, I start to discover the broken panel pops. So I'm going to show you my technique for repairing these, and it's very simple. You only need a few tools. You need some acetone, you need a package of these plastic fasteners, some cardboard for both mixing as well as making some spacers. You need scissors, an X-Acto knife, some painter's tape, some foam tape, and a small paintbrush. You also need some of this epoxy plastic bond from JB Weld. This is the secret. This stuff works so well and bonds to the ABS perfectly, gives you a great fix. So I'm going to show you on this panel. I've already repaired this one, but I'm going to show you what I did and how I did it. With this panel flipped over now, I can show you a repair that I've done recently, and I'll show you how I did it. So this piece actually was missing the entire top. So I completely rebuilt this one out of the JB Weld plastic bond. It is very strong, but I'll walk you through the process that I use. So the first step in the process is to take any small plastic pieces that you still have and glue them back on. This is where the acetone comes in handy. So I'll actually take the acetone and a small paintbrush. I'll apply a little bit of acetone to the back side of the broken piece and the panel that I'm gluing it to. This melts the ABS and allows the two pieces to rebond. It's not strong enough for a final fix, but it will keep it in place while you make your repair. The second step is to take an X-Acto knife or some sandpaper and just score the plastic and clean it up a little bit. The sanding and the scoring helps the epoxy adhere to the plastic. After you do that, you'll take a piece of cardboard and cut it into the shape behind the repair. You slide this in place and it gives you a perfect shelf to be able to repair and keep the plastic from going down behind the area where you do not want it, because the top of the panel pop needs to be able to slide back in there. After the epoxy begins to cure, it'll become pliable. At that point, I use my X-Acto knife to start my first cuts. I'll begin my hole at the top and I'll cut the edges a little bit. Now I'm not going to finish this until it's completely solid, but it gives me an opportunity to start setting it up. This is also an opportunity that you can pull the cardboard out. If the cardboard is stuck, you can just slide the razor knife underneath and cut it loose from the epoxy. That gives you a nice clean portion to set up and dry. After the epoxy is fully cured, I'll go in with a sander and I'll sand this. I'll clean up this edge. This is where the Dremel comes in. Either a Dremel or a nice drill bit, anything you have with a nice sharp edge, you can go in and clean up all of your edges and sand the top of this down so that it's the same height as the edge of the panel. You don't want this sticking up too much because then the panel will stick up away from the edge. So make sure you sand this all nice and smooth, clean it up, and that your panel pop will fit. It's very simple to kind of test this and kind of make sure that the pin actually will fit in there well. After the epoxy is fully cured, the very last step is to fit your panel pop. So you'll take your plastic fastener, you'll slide it in place, and you can see the cardboard is the perfect thickness for this. So it allows you to slide the pin in nice and tight, and it's actually tighter than original. Then you take your foam and you apply your foam over the top of the panel pop like this. I use this neoprene foam, which works very well. You can use closed cell foam, whatever you might have, but I do like this neoprene foam for this. I generally allow my panels about 48 hours to completely cure. Once they're finished, I'll go in, do any last little details that I need to. Like I said, on this one, I completely remade the top of this. So I brought the material down along the sides of these little vertical pieces to ensure that it's nice and solid. You still want to use your panel pop tool to take these off because you can break the front of it. So make sure you use your tool, but now you've got a nice, clean, finished connection that is solid. A lot of times this is even stronger than the original. It's solid, but it has a little bit of flexibility that you need when you're putting your panels on. So there you go. This technique has worked fantastic for fixing the front of panels, sanded it all smooth, retextured the front of a panel, and then re-dyed it with SEM. This is a great technique Hopefully it'll help you save your original panels, because sometimes you have one panel that's broken with these panel pops. You don't want to replace it with a new one, because then you have one that's patinaed and one that's brand new, and it makes it look unbalanced. This allows you to save these original panels and keep them in the vehicle. So there you go. There's the tip on how I repair plastic ABS door panels on classic cars. I hope this helps you with your build. Please leave your ideas, thoughts, comments. If you have better ideas on how to make this even stronger or how to improve the process, leave them in the comments so the rest of the community can enjoy it. But for now, I'm going to get to putting this truck back together. Let's build some cars.